Yeah, you can turn me back down. Shit, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right there, yo. Yeah, them real niggas can't relate. Yeah, them real niggas can't relate, man. Carolina stand up. Yeah. Hey, baby, tell me, have you ever seen a nigga chase his dreams? Leaving everything he loved behind to make the screen. Kiss his mama on the cheek, say don't worry, I'll be back. I gotta get you out this shit, I'ma hurry, I'll speed back. You see, that's the type of shit the boy be thinking when he dreaming. And he don't pay no mind to them niggas that's disagreeing, saying, nigga, is you crazy?
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, by the way? We about to get started with this breakdown expeditiously. I'm about to try to start. I'm going to. Let me say that. I'm going to start these breakdowns earlier. And I'm going to also be answering questions at the end of stream. More so, I'm going to answer a few at the start. But I'm going to be answering more questions at the end of stream and then also in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, make sure you're in the Discord. What's good, Nell? What's good, Chris? Thanks for responding to my idea. I appreciate it. Yeah, I make sure I keep it in mind. I keep all that stuff in mind. They all end up popping up at some random point in time where it's like, oh, I remember hearing that one time. So I always keep it in mind. Bam has been perfect. 10:50 in Houston. Early morning gems, man. These are breakfast gems. Let's really give it a chance to showcase his floor vision. You know the thing about Bam too? Don AP, what's good? What's good? But hold on, let me even just talk about what we about to get into. Pause cold for a second. But let's talk about what we about to get into first. So let's start with Bam, right? So the thing with Bam, a lot of people don't even realize Bam's a 4, right? He could play a small ball 5, but he's really a 4. And if you put him at the 4, you'll see his abilities like tenfold. Like you'll see a lot of the things that he could do defensively, offensively, and then as he continues to get better as a shooter, Bam's gonna be one of them ones. But if he wants, even in the NBA's perspective, not even just talking about FIBA and the Olympics and getting the medal, in the NBA, if you got him at the 4 and then you got a good stretch 5, comp. I'm trying to tell you, that's comp. That would be very comp because he could guard everything. He could do the playmaking. His shooting is getting better. Mid-range, 3-point, all that is getting better. He's already got the float, knows the short rolls, the passing, rebounding, defending all positions. So that would be a really comp lineup, right? And so even if you look at the teams that have won chips in the past, in recent years, or just throughout history, they haven't been really been a small ball team. Maybe Golden State in their years, but like a majority of the time, like 80% of the time, teams got like a good 4 and a good 5. And for Bam to try to be a 5 on a championship level, especially with the bigs you got to match up against with today, he'll be better as a 4. But let's not even just talk about what Bam is doing. Let's even talk about Embiid. So the reason as to why Embiid shouldn't even have played this game and the reason he didn't is not even like, oh, he's been playing bad in recent games. Let's put him on the bench completely. If you just look at the matchup and you look at the lineups, he would not fit this game against Sudan, right? If you look at how Sudan in their lineup, their 5 is like Wyndon Gabriel. Wyndon Gabriel is 6'9", 6'10", but he's getting up and down the floor. He's quick, he's fast, he's moving. Joel Embiid would have slowed down their entire pace, and they would have got outran by Sudan. So not playing Embiid was a strategic thing, and then also a mix-in of him not really playing that well. So it was really they got exactly what they sought in putting him on the bench. And now I heard Puerto Rico's even another small team, so I don't know if Embiid will have his space in there as well. But I don't know. We'll see what they do going forward. But he shouldn't even be playing to start, bro. He should have just got ready for the NBA season. I know you want a medal. I don't know if you'll be able to get another one like by the time the next Olympics come around, but come on, man. You barely be healthy for the entire regular season. Now you want to play through the summer, then you want to get to train. Like, dudes is already getting back into shape because training camp is about a month and a half away, or not even like a month away. So dudes is already getting back active, and Embiid has had no rest, and you know his knee still ain't good. So yeah, we about to get started with the breakdown in a second. I just had to get some 2 cents in when it comes down to that situation. You think Bam underrated? Anthony Davis, you say yes. I think Bam is like I was talking about before, not properly used. He could be even better if you put him at the 4, like I was just saying. And then underrated, kinda. It's just there's so much talent that you may just overlook him. So I guess you could say he's underrated. But if you look at him from a player's perspective, like you just watch his game, you're going to give his game the credit if you watch it. That's why I say it's overlooked and not underrated. Because if you've seen it, you'll know exactly what he could do and that he's good. But are you going to see it? He's overlooked, not underrated. A lot of people are overlooked and underrated. People be saying, yo, your content's underrated. I don't think it's underrated. I think it's just overlooked. And not seen enough. Let me even put that in perspective. Not seen enough. A lot of people don't even get the eyes they need. So Curry's been struggling these games. He can't shoot the 3. I also want to say something else about Steph. I think Steph should be playing more of the 1 than Bron should be playing. I think Bron should be playing more towards the corners and the baseline, and Steph should be on the ball because he has more gravity and could create better advantages than Bron can. Bron, of course, is a better passer. But if you put Steph on the ball, the passes that you need to make all become easier, and now you don't need to make no high-level passes. You don't need to make no crazy chest moves and, oh, boom, he saw this, and then this, and that. I think at times they need to get a better blend, let me say. It doesn't need to be the whole time. They just need to get a better blend of putting Steph at the 1, putting Bron at that 4, and then having him play around the block, around the baseline, and then setting those screens popping up and then allowing Bron to do that stuff. So I've seen a number of possessions where it's just easy for him to do that when Steph's on the ball. And I'm going to show a couple plays as well. There's Sudan, South Sudan. Yeah, South Sudan. My bad if I was just saying Sudan. I think Curry struggles because the offense isn't only him, so he's having to find his spots with less screening. He also gets less touches, and you also do need like just a good feel for the ball to be a good shooter. So, but at the end of the day, Steph is Steph, and I don't know how much of a feel he really needs to get shots off. A lot of them don't look bad, like they all on line with it. They all in line with it. W off ball, yeah, indeed. How do you get your shot released quick as hell? Improving the quickness of your shot boils down to how well can you control that speed. And so this is a concept as to which I was just writing about and thinking about yesterday, which is progressive overload. Not progressive overload and increasing the weight so we can have a better 1 rep max or whatever it might be, right? But progressive overload in agility. I don't think people understand that. Progressive overload in movement, to where we're overloading the velocity as to which you're moving progressively over time, so that you could be able to control the slow, and then you can control the medium slow, then you can control the medium, then you can control the medium fast, and then you can control the fast, and then you can control the super fast, right? And so that's the same concept of progressive overload when it comes down to lifting weights. It's the same thing when it comes down to speed, if you want to be able to do something quicker but still maintain control. And so it's important that when you do train, you learn how to control your shot from the slow and then progress it going forward. So that starts with the form shooting, and once you learn how to do something slow, you also improve your touch. And then as you improve that touch, then you can improve the speed of it when you're close. Then you can take a step back, and then you can drop the speed a little bit. Then it gets comfortable, and you increase a little more. And you almost do the same thing over and over and over again until you're back to the three-point line. And that essentially, as time goes on, as you get more and more reps in, you improve the speed of your shot. That's a crazy gem to start the stream. I know y'all have never heard of it before, but I guarantee you it's going to work. Progressive overloading when it comes down to speed and velocity. So you want to know how you shoot faster, you got to learn how to go slow, then progress your way to get fast. Facts, yeah. Hooping is the start of the relearn how to shoot, as he told me. When he said I need a consistent follow through, how does that apply for 3 levels of shooting? I mean, you just need you need a follow through you need a shot that's gonna follow through the same way every time you shoot it, meaning that your finishing arm stays in alignment with the rim every time you shoot. Right? You can have different paths and bring the ball up different ways, but when you finish your shot, you want everything to follow through with the rim. A lot of people like this, and they all go out like that and like that. Like, that's too much, right? You're doing, like, it's not going to lead your shot to where you want to get it to, which is in the rim. So having a consistent follow through, whether you're form shooting, you're right next to the rim, you're at the mid-range level or the 3, it's a concept of just accuracy. Having a consistent follow through shows that your shot is accurate, or you're leading it to be as accurate as possible. Sometimes you may miss slightly left or slightly right, but you just got to keep shooting at that point. So the importance of it is it's just going to make your shot accurate. And a lot of people don't have the strength to maintain a consistent follow through, which is why you got to build the strength, the shooting strength. And the only way you build shooting strength, like the specific muscles and the connectiveness and the fluidity, is through shooting in itself. So you got to start from the most basic level. Carly Jones, I was getting anything you wanted. High key, bro. I got a good bit of film on Carly Jones. I got a good bit of stuff. I got like a minute and a half, like little stint of him cooking, and then a minute, and then some other clips of them countering what he was doing. So you're gonna see some of that stuff in there. Holler at the one so that can free up Curry. Now I put Curry at the one, bro. I'm telling you, put Curry at the one. I like that more. You stream on Twitch? I used to stream on Twitch. We stream on YouTube now. Brown was kind of ball hogging in that first half. I don't know if Brown. I don't know. I don't like the concept of when you put ball hogging. I think a lot of people perceive it wrong. Like he may have the ball in his hands a lot, but it's not intentional. Like he's reading the floor, trying to see the gaps and waiting for gaps to open up, and then he's gonna make a play. But if there's no gaps, he won't make the pass. And it's like, yo, you had the ball in your hands for a long ass time. What are you doing? He was sitting there looking for gaps. So power forward playing pickup, having my pick and rolls and rebounding. And my coach wants me to play PG. How should I adapt to the change? Just start dribbling a lot, man. Start dribbling a lot. Live your life with a basketball in your hand. Live a life with a basketball in your hand. Then you'll just get used to dribbling. It's better than doing you could do the drills and the combo drills and the cone drills a little bit, but the best way to develop your handle to where you don't have to think about it is just to dribble. So I didn't see Japan versus France. I only really got the time to watch the Team USA versus South Sudan. Bam, you said Bam 27. Okay, Brown to go. How do you improve your IQ? I improve my IQ by learning how to think. It's a lifestyle thing to where you improve your ability to not just think about basketball, but be able to think of various aspects and various concepts. And then I was able to translate that to basketball. And basketball is my main route. So the main route of forcing me to think. Because like I wasn't good at something. And I was like, why did I do this bad? And I just continue to think. And then people say it's overthinking, but you only overthink if you think in the same cycles. If you don't allow yourself to branch off into new thought, then you overthink. So let me get this started though. I'm gonna get my Instagram post up right quick. Let me find a clip that I want to use. Let me find. All right, let me get that right there. Boom, boom. By the way, make sure y'all join the Discord because I'm gonna answer more questions off stream. Like, cause I'm only streaming maybe 2-3 times a week. 3 times max is usually maybe around 2 times now. So if y'all got any questions, I'll be answering them in the Discord. And if you want even quicker responses and you want more content, you want workouts and all that other stuff, hit the description and join the school community. Let me put this on the IG story right quick. Boom. Get that. Got that. Got that. Let me switch to that right quick. Just get there. And then we there with it. Yo, what's good? Hanif, what's good? Pass the ball. I've been looking at fascia training, etc. Do you have any opinions on it? One thing I've researched a little bit of, and I'm gonna do more research of, is fascia lines, because fascia lines are important in understanding how you gotta train movement. And movement is one of the things a lot of people are deficient in, and why they can't play smooth, right? So that's something as to which I still need to adapt. I need to get more into. I need to understand better. I understand it solid. Like I always say, I'm a good out of 10, maybe like a 6 out of 10, maybe 4 out of 10. Honestly, probably like a 4 out of 10 because I know like ways to train it, but I need to really understand it. Like I need to put context to it. And once I'm able to put context to it and understand the intricacies, then I'll be like, okay, I'm 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, around that range. So I don't even think I'll ever hit 10, by the way, because I'll never know everything. How to become the second coming of LeBron. Dog, you cannot control that at all, bro. Genetics is a good part of that. Genetics is a good part of that. How do you think international players could stand out in America? Actually, you know how you could become the second coming of LeBron? God chooses you to become the second coming of LeBron. That's the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way you can do that. Stand out in America. I would say the key would be to improve athleticism organically and not rely upon your natural athleticism. But I got to get started, though. I got to get started. You said, Taylor, you said you're oversized point guard. You may just have to drop some size if you're oversized. Like if you're stocky, if you're at a point where you know you're not as lean as you could be, need to cut some weight and you'll get quicker that way. So you may just have to start there. But I'm going to talk about Braun. I'm going to talk about Ant. I have a good bit on Bam and then Carlick Jones. So those are the main 4 players you're going to see throughout this breakdown. They each have their own like little segment, little stint. But this game is going to start off with Braun, right? And this is the first play of the game. So I need y'all to understand the concept of the first play of the game in itself. So on the first play of the game, it's important that you establish a good foundation so that you could be able to get the nerves out and you don't start with any bad blood, essentially, right? And so when it comes down to this play right here by Braun, right? First play of the game, and Braun already knows what he needs to read when he gets the ball at this point. He knows there's going to be a screen coming from Steph on his baseline and the read he's going to have to make and the passing angles he might have. And so for Braun to go on the first play of the game and throw a pass like this is exactly why he's one of the best passers of all time. Now, although it was a turnover, y'all got to understand what's going on mentally for him to throw that pass. One, his confidence level, right? His confidence level. And now that also goes to another reason too, his capacity to do something. He knows he has a capacity to be able to make that pass get through. And so he's confident enough to try it on a play that's extremely important in the first play of the game. And it shows you another third thing. No fear of failure. He knows it's a risky pass, but he knows his capacity. And so now he's confident and he's going to supersede. He's going to suppress any failure or doubt that there might be. And he's actually going to go and try it. So what's going on here, then also physically for him to even just go and attempt that pass is what allows someone to be great. Those times where you're going to fail, like, damn, I messed up, keep it going. He's not going to be scared to mess up again, though. And so just by simply trying that, that's just a crazy thing to even think of. To have that angle and to know, okay, I'm going to throw this pass this time. And he damn near got it through. Like, it was right there. He luckily hit that shit off his elbow or, like, right off the side of his back. It's like, damn, he ain't get through. But that's a tough-ass pass. I know Halliburton was looking at it for a second like, dog, how you be... Halliburton in his own passing mindset is like, damn, I gotta Loki might have to level my shit up. It's still a bad pass, poor decision from a high IQ player. It's like Steph taking one of them heat check shots. You know what I'm saying? Only people who are really great at something will understand, okay, you could try that shit. You know what I'm saying? Only you could really understand to try some shit like that. You know when Steph, he pulling a shot from 40 and it's like, yo, he's smoking. You know when Steph, even in his early years, when he was taking shots, like people would question and be like, well, yo, why are you doing that? It's confidence. Now, if you want to play on that, if you want to be at the same level as your competition, right? You want to stay in that same area. By any means, play safe. But these people who make those type of decisions and make those type of plays understand their capacity because of the amount of time that they put into their craft, so they know that shit could actually go through. And so once you're able to not be scared of failing when it comes down to something like that, that's when you're actually able to become great. Which is why you don't see a role player do some shit like that. So you may say it's a bad pass, but He knew exactly where it was, and it was damn near on target. Does maturity count in passing? Essentially, just essentially being mature in passing, knowing what to go for and what not to go for, and what's there and what's not there, I guess. More important, I mean, it depends, the full body thing. If I got 40,000 points, I'm doing whatever I want. But now I also want to talk about this. LeBron is one of the best 1-foot jumpers of all time. But you got to understand, when you jump off one, particularly when you jump off the same foot and go up with the same hand, the only way you could be able to absorb contact and initiate contact off one and stay balanced is going same foot, same hand. Because what that will allow you to do is that since your defender usually is going to be on that inside, you could push off, bump, hang, and regain balance, even if you began that takeoff off the same foot, same hand, and you felt a little off balance. That hang from that bump is going to help you regain balance. And so going straight back to even the left hand if you need to, or going to the inside hand with the right, the most important thing is just going off that outside leg in comparison to where your defender is. So if you're on that right side, you go off the right leg, boom, you can get them on the inside. And now you can bump, hang, go through contact, and you can finish through with the leg. And now defensively a little bit too. Let's get in this bronze stint right quick. So when you're able to anticipate movement, but before the concept of anticipating movement, right? Understand, if you want to be able to anticipate movements on defense, it requires experience. And a lot of y'all be ducking experience, thinking you can just see something a couple times and you don't have to physically go through it. But when you've just been in a vast number of scenarios, moves like that you could get the jump on because you know what's going to happen after they go and make this certain move. So in a situation like this with Jones, right? When he goes right and he decides to get into this split he's about to do, Bron's like, oh, the only way he could go now is back to his middle. He's not thinking it, by the way. This is just instinct. Understanding just these certain movements, and then he's in the right spot. So now he could be able just to place that hand there, boom. He didn't even hit the ball. He just stopped him from quick buckets to start the game out. And now let's get into some of his playmaking. His playmaking. So anybody on the Sudan team, right? South Sudan, they practically a lot smaller than Bron. So these post-ups, he's going to have that gravity. And so it's not just going to be a one-on-one situation. You're going to see some help. And now Bron's ability to read that help. The second that he turns his back, his eyes now go to 7. Because he knows he's digging, and he also needs to understand where his teammates are spaced. So he's going to continuously look over that shoulder to make that read on 7. And as he gets further down to that baseline, he stays. So now I kick that out to Tatum. And now close out this where it started, he gets nothing in the box score, which is why those plays should be tracked. And now Steph here with Brown as well. I talked about this when we started the stream, but I got to talk about it a little more. So this is where I see Team USA being their best. Where Bron, instead of being on the ball so much, right, where he's trying to look off these reads and see if he can make a pass, get here and get there, and taking up 12, 14 seconds at times, you put Steph on the ball and you put Bron down towards the baseline, right? Because what's going to happen when Steph has a ball in his hand, he's going to automatically create an advantage, right? There's not going to be, oh, let's go under, let's play him back, and now Bron's going to have to try to sit here and find all these gaps. Steph's has already got 2 on him. So at this point, the reads become easy, the passes become easy, and you don't need to make no crazy chess moves. All you need to do is make the right move, make the right play. So now he drops that down over to AD, and that forces that rotation from the weak side. And then you just simply forget about Bron because he is off the ball and Steph Curry is on the ball. So now Bron's man, I believe, right here, he steps up to take this tag. D-Book relocating to this wing, and Bron just drops down. Boom, he gets his 2. It's damn near impossible to guard once you're actually able to get 2 on the ball. But if you have Bron on the ball so much, it's going to be a lot harder to get 2 on the ball because they oftentimes go under or they just switch it. And so you could run a Bron and Steph pick and roll, or you could just run a Steph and AD pick and roll, run it high, Steph and Bam, run it high. Even Steph the only one? Yeah, let's just say Steph. Put Steph at that one. Let him run those actions, and it's gonna make moving the ball around a lot easier. And now here, let's talk about KD for a second. These are driving opportunities. All y'all wonder when I could drive the ball. So pay attention to this now, right? So look at KD. So let me get some water first. I low-key need water. I'm done dehydrated. Now here we go. So if you want an easy lane to go and drive to the rim, watch KD. KD is in the corner. He lifts up to the wing. And understand what's even going on that weak side, right? You got 3 players who are all right next to each other. And so that spacing is going to be the most important thing, right? On top of what's going on with KD. So even understand the concept of KD once again. Let's connect it all together so you can actually make sense of, oh, this is when I should drive, right? So understand, right? So watch KD. He's in the corner at this point in time. He lifts up to the wing. And now with Holiday and Steph all being right next to each other, they're not set as an offense, which means that their defenders also aren't set as a help defense. So when now KD is able to get the ball here from this pitch, that corner is empty because he's the one who lifted from there, and there's no weak side help, and they're not set. So that attack to that right side is a lot easier, and he could actually get to the rim. And that was just all due to that lift, recognizing there's no strong side help anymore, that weak side not being active, and now he's able to go and get a lay. And actually ended up getting fouled. Give me those 2 free throws. Both the same thing, damn near, if you shoot from the line as good as he does. So, Derek White. Peep this with Derek White. Derek White. Derek White's one of the best shot blocking guards in the league because not his athleticism, because he understands the concept and the skill of a block. A lot of people don't understand the skill of a block. So when Derek White goes up to block Jones' shot, watch where he puts his hand. He doesn't put his hand where the ball is. He decides to put his hand where the ball is going to go, which now allows him to actually block a shot, which is just blocking the path as to what you have to get the ball to the rim. So a lot of people, when they try to go and block a shot, they always try to see the ball where it is and swing their arms so they can send it to the 5th row. But this is not going to be like that. You just simply want to block the path of where the ball is going to go. And if you understand the different angles as to which a player has when he gets around the rim, then you could just simply block those angles, block those paths. And it's going to force him to put the ball in a different spot. Which is why when you see Kyrie go up and do all this, right? That's crazy to even see because they block the path. Oh, I got to stretch out here. Or I may boom, show it here, don't got it, bring it back here, and I lay it. That's the extremely tough stuff, which is why Kyrie shit is even tougher. But even going back to this, as a defender, if you just simply understand this is the way he has to be able to get the ball as a layup, put my hand there instead of trying to meet the ball wherever it is, you won't get fooled and you could get blocks. Once again, that hand's just sitting exactly where it is. It's literally, he brought the hand, oh, this is your lane, you showed it to the left, I know you're going to bring it back to the right, gotcha. Got him. And now Drew Holiday, he about to get him. So understand this. Steals and blocks are cool, but this is what elite defense looks like. Drew Holiday picks up 3/4 court, breaks his stance, beats him to a spot, no foul. And now he gets back in front, opens up half his stance once again, beats him to the spot, embraces the contact, absorbs the contact, and the second that the offensive player wants contact, he pulls a chair, and now he throws it and doesn't know where his teammates are. That's elite defense. That's where you play chess, where you're able to bait somebody into doing something at the last second, boom, pull that shit away. And the fact Drew Holiday was able to pull the chair on the ball, on the dribble drive from half court, is a crazy thing to do. Which I don't think y'all understand the planes of movement that takes as well. Like to be in real time, full speed, right? To be able to beat him to a spot, get bumped, and decide to say, let me just move back now. Like, let me just drop back. The second that he wants to get that contact, I'm going to drop back. Just fooled him. And now this drive here by Ant, y'all got to understand a lot of parts when it comes down to this drive as well. So notice Ant, right? When Ant takes his first dribble, he only has a 5-foot gap to go left, and he has Drew in the middle of that paint. So the second he takes 2 escape dribbles, KD is able to move over to that left side, and Drew Holiday is now able to get to that baseline. So what Ant does is go back where he came, because now once I get to this stop, I have an even bigger gap to the left because KD kept moving to that left wing. So now I could go drive and turn that corner fully because I created all that space to get myself to the rim. Creating angles. Y'all got to understand that if you don't have a gap that you like at a certain point in time, you can still create an even bigger gap than there is if you make sure that the floor gets spaced, because that spacing alone, letting your teammates get to where they need to be alone, will increase the distance of the gap that you have to drive. And then 2, just a simple concept of taking your defender one way and then getting back the other. That's simple. That's simple. But a lot of players go when there isn't space, when their teammates aren't spaced, and they don't ever get them spaced. So you're attacking against an unspaced offense. So now the defense is going to be more compact, and now you have no lanes. And now the other concept of leading them one way, getting back the other, that's really going to be easier most times than it is for someone to understand the concept of spacing. And it's really going to be easier once you do get the spacing down. It's going to make everything that you do with the ball with someone in front of you just make a lot more sense. And this is another angle of it. Look, this is like half the play. This is about half the play. But you're going to see how this gap here, and I'll compare the gap that you see right here with Ant compared to now when he gets into the snatchback, and now this gap here. And now that's why he's able to turn this corner out wide and not worry about that help. And he's able to get there and get that lay. Tough bucket, tough bucket. But it's really simple if you just know concept. Really simple if you know concept. And now there's another concept when it comes down with isolations, kind of like you just seen before. So understand, when you get into an isolation like Ant and you can't cook, what do you do next? Watch Team USA. He gives up the book, give and go, he gets down to the paint. By getting into the paint, he's now pulled in Derek White's defender. He's pulled in KD's defender. Bam has now made the cut. He's got 4 Sudan players all the way down to the paint. And so now he takes the ball, gives it to KD, rips right, and now he kicks to Derek White. Derek White has an open 3 because his man pulled in on help. You got to continuously play offense after an isolation. So understand this. If you see one isolation, doesn't mean after we get one isolation, we got to do another isolation, then another isolation. After you finish one isolation, it's better that you get back to your motion, regular offense. Instead of trying to be like, your turn, oh, my turn, oh, his turn. Don't play that style because you're not going to create any looks. Everyone's going to be stagnant. Everyone's not going to be engaged. And now before you know it, boom, you're probably just going to be losing games crazy because everyone thinks it's my turn basketball. And now we about to start talking about Bam. Can you explain what weak side is? Weak side is just, if I'm on this left side, the weak side is the opposite side. So if I'm on the left wing, weak side is the right corner, right wing, really the right corner, particularly the right corner. Weak side help, which is the bottom man helping. So in a situation like this, the weak side will be KD. KD will be right here on this weak side. How do you think I can react as fast as Kyrie during lays or while dribbling? That's experience. Like I said, progressive overload and speed. You got to start at the bottom. You've got to start as basic and as simple as possible. And then as time goes along, you'll increase your skill within it, increase your control. And then boom, you could possibly be at that speed. It's not some shit that you could just train for right now and go from not being able to even do it while you're slow to then just being able to do it at the fastest possible speed you could, right? It's not that simple. It is not that simple. And a lot of people think it's, oh, boom, microwavable results, but it's a process. Kyrie's only able to go that fast because, understand, he's what, like 30, 32 right now or so, right? He's in his 30s, and he's been playing basketball for 2.5 decades probably. So you know the amount of time that he's put in, right? You know the things he sacrificed to even put that time in. I'm saying you got to sacrifice the same things: hanging out with friends, talking, wasting time, partying, girls, all that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta ask yourself if you're willing to sacrifice what it takes to get there. That's the real question. You got to see what other people sacrifice, what your idols have sacrificed, and then say, am I willing to do that same thing? Then once you make that decision, either yes or no, you got to live with it. You got to live with it. Brandon Ingram. I watched Brandon Ingram a little while ago. Probably won't be for a minute. I'll watch Brandon Ingram again because there's just so much other stuff to get to. But I definitely will probably peep him again during the regular season. What player should I study from his 5'6" point guard? Hey, and if you ask me to do a video on Brandon Ingram and you haven't searched Pat Diawar, Brandon Ingram on YouTube already, you need to go and do that. I don't know what you're doing asking in the chat if you haven't even taken a look to see if I have a Brandon Ingram video. Because I guarantee you I have one. And to stream with it. So make sure you go peep the video. 5'6" point guard. Study players who excel in the same things you're good in. Watch those players. Do you think people like LeBron have to put so many reps that they can comprehend at a fast pace, or is it just instinct at this point? I mean, the reps made it instinct. So it's not like, don't think that NBA players had microwavable results either. Don't think they had microwavable results because they all put the work in. Like day in and day out, and you probably don't even understand the fact that they were once where you were or around where you were, meaning in skill level at some point in time. Like they're just very raw in skill and they're not that great. Now, if you have natural athleticism or something like that, okay, then you may be able to be a step ahead in certain components. But in terms of skill, we all start at a very raw level. So they all had to put the work in. So all because you see them there doesn't mean it was just like, boom, God just snapped them and put them in the NBA and they're able to have all this skill. They put the time in their adolescence, in their childhood, in their teenage years and all that stuff. So you still got to put the work in. But yeah, let's talk about this play with Bam. We about to get on our little Bam spurt. So now, let me go back one more time so we can start from the top of the play. So for bigs, how well a guard is able to navigate these screens determines the type of looks they could get. So when Ant comes off the screen to his left side, he's got Jones behind him. And how long he can keep Jones behind him for will also help Bam be able to get himself open. Because what it's going to do is tell Wenyen Gabriel, all right, is that Wenyen Gabriel? I think it is. It might be. I'm not sure. But what it's going to tell him now is, all right, he's behind the play. He needs help. I don't want to give him an open look, an open floater, or open shot, right? And now since Ant keeps him on that tail side, he gets further down. Gabriel thinks, okay, I could play both in this close quarters. He's going to go up into a shot. Nope, dump it down to Bam. Bam gets that too. Bam also staying patient as that roller, keeping himself active, understanding that these gaps may not be there when I ideally want it, but if I just sit, stay patient, keep myself in the right spot, I can get it a little later. And so now let's continue to talk about Bam and what he's been able to do without Embiid playing in this game. So I want you to watch this, right? Look at Ant. Ant enters this isolation around 8, ends up having a passing lane because Ant could not cook in that ISO, and now he's able to get a 2 just from his activity alone. So y'all got to understand, especially as a big, activity is what's going to allow you to be able to take advantage of your size. All these bigs that you see that are heavy foot, don't want to move, never learn how to move, okay, it's going to get you some buckets. But when you see someone like Bam, who's not so much bigger than his competition, but he's still able to utilize his size, it's because he's that active. It's because he's that active. And you're going to continuously see Bam do a great job when it comes down to being active as a 5, right? And so now we got another situation, right? Bam coming down here in transition. You see KD in the post. He's got a small guard on him. A lot of people at this point would be like, all right, let me sit back, you know what I'm saying? Let me just play my spot in the dunker. Let me just watch KD cook, right? Let me just watch KD get busy because he could shoot over the top all day. But he understands, okay, I still need to be a threat because I'm on the floor, and more than likely, they're going to send another defender. So what's going to end up happening is that even while KD's here, they're stunning on this help. Bam dives in, fighting for position, And then he ends up getting this lob pass in, pulls 3 defenders on his catch. KD didn't even get a second defender. He got another defender. He got a third defender just by catching the ball in the paint. He kicks that out. They swing it one more time to the wing. Derek White ends up getting the 3 from the top. And he doesn't even get a stat for it, which is why he got a track hockey assist. Bam was a source of that. Really? KD. But Bam played a great part in that, right? And Bam, once again, this is where just being a smart player, having understanding self, understanding your own game and what you got to add, this is where it comes in. Because Bam in this game, he hit 2 corner threes, and this was one of them, right? No respect at all. They don't see him hit many in the NBA, nor has he hit any thus far in the Olympics. He gets this corner 3, guide hand solid, follow through there, knocks down that first one. Next time down, playing out of the corner, right? This is another corner 3. And now you got Steph at the top of the key, big man on him, he drives. And the most important thing about these corners, let me tell you this, watch his footwork. Watch Bam's footwork, right? It's something so subtle, a lot of y'all don't really understand what I'm even talking about until I say what I'm talking about. And so when players train and they shoot out the corners, what they like to do is take 1-2s. They like to take a trigger step, a negative step, right? They take a step going back, and they want to go step into their shot like they're shooting on the wing in the corners when they're in their workouts. So what's going to happen in the game is that they're going to do the same thing and step on the line, and now you don't get a corner 3. But when you play out of the corners, the key is to learn how to get your rhythm from your feet, stepping in laterally, right? Stepping in laterally is the key to shooting from the corners. And if you need a workout, if you need training, and you want to see, all right, how do I improve my ability to gain rhythm laterally? DOR shooting program, link in the description. Join the community. And so, as well, when it comes down to that, make sure anytime you're in your workouts, anytime you're in the game, get those lateral steps in. Bam with another corner 3, man. And now you're going to see him score at the rim, off the pick and roll, see him dive in, help make the right play, hit the threes, you know what I'm saying? And now at this point, I want to talk about the rebounding aspect. Because at this point, Holiday coming off the screen, they're switching this out. Watch what Bam does when the shot goes up, right? Watch what Bam does. He has his defender on the tail side, sees Drew going up into that shot, and cuts him off halfway through the paint. Because the possibility, the likelihood of Bam getting a rebound increases exponentially the further back he goes with his defender on his backside, which is why he cut him off early. And so now even when the shot goes up, defender's hugging him, boom, that's a foul. Get the ball right back, loose ball. Little things like that as a big. You'll love to play with players like that, and you gotta appreciate. And now, mind you, Bam's still about to do Bam, right? But he doesn't really have to do anything except for be Bam on this play. He doesn't have to do anything because he's going to now rely upon what he's been doing thus far in this game. So you got Ant with the ball. You know, Anthony Edwards, right? You know what Ant can do. And so even when Ant gets off the screen, right, they switch the last one. Gabriel don't want to switch this because he wants to keep himself on the Bam. He want to keep himself on the Bam. He want to keep him off the glass. 14 thinks it's a switch. And so now they don't do the coverage as to which they've been doing because what Bam has been doing himself. The activity that he's had defensively, offensively, they're not even worried about what they actually got to do. So the gravity alone from what he's done before has allowed him to open up plays. And mind you, Embiid doesn't play with this level of activity. He don't play with this level of activity. Embiid could be a great thing for certain matchups, but when you want to play with speed, when you also want someone who's just going to hustle, someone who's going to be able to switch everything, you don't have to put yourself at disadvantages, Bam's the way to go. And so now here as well, when Bam gets the ball off the glass as well, and he decides to not even pitch the ball and bring the ball up himself, this puts a immense amount of pressure on the defense because at this point, he could go to the left side or he could go to the right side. And the second he goes to either side, responsibilities of the defense shift like that, just depending on the way he turns. And he gets into that handoff in like 1 second. So even as Team USA is not spaced at this point in time, Drew Holiday still cutting. You got Ant up here, Derek White up here ready for a handoff. KD is not fully down yet. Bam decides to go to his left side, right? Drew's still filling in. He's not set. So his defender doesn't even know what his responsibility is. He's just trying to stay next to Drew. So now Bam gets his handoff. He rolls to the rim. KD shakes up over here. And now 14 doesn't even make this tag, and Bam gets that lob, right? Bringing that ball down the middle, getting to this quick offense as a 5, vital. It's vital. And that's why you're able to get so many easy twos, and that's why you see Bam do it here, and you see him continuously do it. But even in Miami, same thing. That quick offense is the best offense. And let's talk about Tatum for a second. Tatum got some playing time this game. Tatum got cool like 15, 17 minutes or so, right? So watch what he does, right? Look, watch Jason Tatum on this weak side. He sets a screen right here for Steph, blows it up. And then after he sets the first screen, he goes to set a second screen. And now he's able to get D-Book open from that corner. So understand, all because you set one screen doesn't mean, okay, somebody's got to set a screen for me because I want to get the ball. Sometimes you just got to keep screening. Sometimes, all the time, you just got to make the right play. You got to get somebody open. And if you could set a screen after setting 2 or 3 screens for someone else who could get open, go by any means set that 4th screen. So y'all got to understand, play unselfishly, make the right play, and as time goes along, it's going to come right back around to you. It's how the world works. And now this play is tricky. Defensively, this play is tricky. Motion offense. How do I take the ball coast to coast? Like, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I wish I could say, yo, grab the ball and run as fast as you can, but you can only go as fast as you could process the speed of the game. So the speed as to which Bron could go while still being able to see where everybody is matched up, be able to read these cuts and all that, that's his speed. But maybe you need to go speed more like Luka to be able to make those reads. But some players, it's not really a thing for you to go that fast. Like, you just need to go as fast as you could process the game. So, motion offense coach, yeah. Overrated coach, it's hard for me to even say that. But let me talk about this play, because this is a underrated concept defensively. So understand, right? Pete. So when Wenyen Gabriel has D-Book on him, he thinks, let me cook. I got a small on me. But what Bron does is he switches off the ball, and now being in this spot, Wenyen Gabriel is still in the mindset of, I got to cook in this isolation. Doesn't even matter who's on me because I got the ball in my spot. But this is just fool's gold because you're going against somebody you know you're really not able to score against. And so what happens? Bron is able to get that because he made that off-ball switch. It's really fool's gold. The second you see that off-ball switch, you may as well kick that ball out and continuously run your offense and do whatever you can with the time that's left. You got to create a new advantage because what that off-ball switch does, it takes away the advantage that the offense has created. And whatever amount of time that's still allocated on the clock, then now it makes offense that much harder. Because if they had 9 left and you want to kick that back out, that's one action. That's one action in itself. And now at that point, it's, you know what I'm saying, you don't know what you could get. And now Carlik Jones. Let me talk about Carlik Jones. We're going to start with a few plays as to which Team USA did well, but then we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that he did well. What about Drew Impact, D-Book, the dirty work? But Pete, this is what I want to talk about this with Steph. Because a lot of people are Steph in these situations. So understand this. When you're the mismatch on the floor, like Steph is right now, your goal isn't to get a steal. Your goal isn't to get a block. It's to simply do this. Stay in front of the ball, and if you're able just to stay in front of the ball, hold up whoever's in front of you, you'll allow your teammates to do their responsibility, which is play help defense, and then maybe you could get a block. But it's not really your thing, or it's not even likely as an on-ball defender to get a steal or get a block. So if you're trying to play defense and get those stats, you're playing bad defense. Usually what happens is that you just end up in a spot where you already know where the ball may go and you're in reach of it, boom, you go for it. And then also if you're around the rim and then you're like, oh, damn, the defender not coming in with a lot of velocity, boom, he may not get that high, let me go for that block. You don't play with the intent of gathering stats on defense. You got to play defense with the intent of just simply being able to just stay in front. Cut them off, not allowing them to get to their spots. And then if you're able to beat someone to their spot, you may be in more reach of the ball. So that's where you could possibly get a steal or get a block. And now two here defensively. I want to talk about what we're about to do here defensively, or no, I want to talk about what Bron does offensively and how Jones is going to come back a few possessions later. So peep this, right? So with Bron having a point guard on him, he turns his back. You know he's going to get into the post. And on Bron's part, you've never seen Bron get into the post nor drive and use this move that he's about to use right there. And that's exactly what I call learning from your competition. Because he done seen Luka, boom. He's seen James Harden, boom. He's seen Shea, boom. He's seen them all do that same move and get fouls. And now he has a guard on him. He wants to turn to that fade, and now he uses that low rip through. He's learned from his competition. You got to learn from your competition, man. As much as you may not want, of course, may not like them because they're trying to beat you, you still could get better by learning from them. So don't deprive yourself of the knowledge that they might have just because of ego or whatever it might be, or pride. But now on the other side too, Carly Jones, he low-key heated off that call. Low-key heated off the call, but peep this as well, right? So now understand this right here. The dumbest thing Jones could do right now is go as fast as he can down to the rim because Bron is right next to him. What he should do instead, and what he's gonna do, right? The best thing he can do is now slow himself down and then also seek contact, because by seeking contact, you deactivate LeBron's ability to get here, get to his launching pad, and get a chase down block. And now he gets a layup just because he sought that contact. That contact kills athleticism. So if you can remember one thing as a guard from this stream, contact kills athleticism. If you seek contact, you could take away someone's ability to get up and send your shot. So remember that and make sure you apply it when you go actually play. And now even he's got Jason Tatum on him now. I don't even think you realize where he started. Pay attention, right? He's got D-Book on him to start. And now he's got Jason Tatum. And now you may be like, okay, if he gets around the rim, it's going to be tough to finish. But as a smaller guard with a bigger player on you, you're not going to try to finish over somebody. You got to utilize your speed so you can see if you could get your angles. And by Carly Jones utilizing his speed at this point, no teammate in the corner, I go hard to his left side, Tatum missteps, falls on the ground, and he ends up finding himself a 2. Hard drive to the rim. There was no help that pulled over, but Tatum ended up falling. Not saying your defender's just going to end up misstepping and falling on the floor. No. But even the fact that he even got into the paint, if Tatum did stay up, he could be able to kick the ball out and continuously run offense. Because that's really the worst case scenario. Right? If you drive with the intent of, if I don't got my layup, I could just maintain my dribble and I can get the ball back out when you continue to play. I just try to see if there's opportunity. Shouldn't be scared of driving at all. A lot of people think it's lay or I turn the ball over or I get my shit sent to the 5th row or some shit like that. But if you don't got the lay, you don't got to go and try to get a lay when you got no angle. You just continue to keep your dribble alive and continuously run your offense. No plays? No, you got to know your plays. You got to know plays. You got to know sets. You got to know actions. If you don't know your plays, you don't know what to read when the play is there. Like, you're just going to be playing like a horse of blinders. Like, you just be running around, like doing cardio at that point. You're doing cardio. So in those situations, it's important, especially when it comes down to your teams and the plays that you run. You got to know them front to back and know what to read and what the reads mean when a defender does a certain thing. So you got to know your plays. Got to know your plays. And out here, too, this was Steph. Another situation. This is now he's about to start attacking Steph. So pay attention, right? So even though in the first quarter you seen Carly Jones get his shot blocked when he attacked Steph, doesn't mean he's going to get stopped every single time. It just boils down to now playing smart. So watch what's going on when he gets this switch with Steph, right? He's looking over his shoulder, seeing the weak side. Bron's commanding this weak side, making sure that KD is where he needs to be. He knows what he's got to do. And also AD, shot blocker, he's not out in the paint. And so even by understanding that this defense is loaded up, when I get into the paint, I pull in 2 and I just kick to the corner. I don't even think about driving so I could be able to go and get my own layup. I drive with the intent of just making the right play. And I want you to understand this as well, right? So understand, anytime you get yourself into an isolation, the first thing you got to read is the weak side. What is the weak side defender doing? KD, he's not on the nail. He's not in the paint. He's not helping. Rim is open. But the second thing you got to read, where's the actual rim protector? The rim protector in this lineup is Anthony Davis. He's at the elbow guard on Wenyen Gabriel, right? And then third thing you got to pay attention to, strong side corner. Are they helping strong side corner? 90% of the time, they're not going to. And if they do, it's just a dig. It's a stunt. So now Carlik Jones, when he has Steph, I could just get by him because I could just play this one-on-one. It's just a one-on-one at the end of the day. I done did this so many times that when I go and make this attack, I done did this thousands of times already. Don't got to worry about no help. Help's not there. Strong side corner, rim protector. Boom, get my bump, inside hand lay. And I also want y'all to understand this in comparison to that first play, right? So you've seen that last play. Understand now where Bron is. Steph is still on Carlik Jones. Now they're on the left side. But since Bron is on this strong side, what now ends up happening is that KD is not even loaded up to where he needs to be. AD is not playing smart defensively. He's staying attached to Wenyen Gabriel for no reason, understanding that the mismatch is up top, but I'm the rim protector and there's no defensive three. AD's playing bad defense, and now Bron, he just strong side corner, we not helping that, and he ends up getting that lay. So you got to make sure, even as a weak side defender, you're communicating off the ball, making sure people are where they need to be. And now another time he ends up getting Steph on the ball, right? Understand what's going on now. KD strong side. Bron, you got Bron on the weak side. So basically Bron and KD now just flip sides, right? They just flip sides. But Anthony Davis, this is the thing. Anthony Davis, there's no defensive three. At this point, you may as well drop down way closer to the rim, because if you're here already, by the time he gets into this drive, one, he can't get to that inside hand. And two, you could still be able to play Wenyen Gabriel because he's not going to stay on the perimeter. And even if the ball is there, how could he get that to Wenyen Gabriel? That would be a tough angle for him to find his way to get the ball there. And so Anthony Davis would even already be at the rim to be able to stop that. So Team USA's part, defense was slacking. Carlik Jones read it, took advantage of it. Great isolation. Great isolations. And even as you've seen Steph getting cooked. Steph ended up getting his first bucket of the game right here. He was smoking lays, blowing open threes, but it comes with the game, honestly. So hopefully this eases tension a little bit. And now going forward as a defense, Team USA is about to make this adjustment, right? A lot of people don't understand that even in live games, you don't got to keep doing the same shit over and over and over again. If we know it's broke, we got to fix it, right? We know it's broke, you got to fix it. Now on the offense, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're still going to continue to attack Steph. And so what ends up happening now, D-Book on Carlik Jones, he's able to stay over, and now you don't get that switch. And the most important thing here as an on-ball defender is understanding your spacing. You have nobody else in this corner. Your closest help would be the weak side if they get into the paint. But if you get the ball into the paint, now you're automatically at a disadvantage because you got two on the ball, right? But if you're able to lead the ball to where there's less space, to where now the ball gets into the middle and you're surrounded by three defenders, it's going to make things a lot tougher because defenders are staying home, don't got an angle, he turns the ball over. So now they're able to make these great adjustments when it comes down to this matchup. And they did it once again here with Steph and KD, right? Couldn't see the star of the play greatly, but you see Steph lead that left side, and now KD takes Jones, right? And so understand how much different this is from Jones's perspective, from the on-ball perspective. Instead of seeing Steph when you're walking down, getting to your ISOs, you see this. 7 foot, 7'5" wingspan, hand in the air, and you already not been shooting jumpers, so it's not like I could try to just get some shit up, right? Try and get to the rim. Right, we got to get away from that. And they're going to continue to get away from it because now they're going to continuously learn because D-Book's on the ball. D-Book can't guard the same way KD did and discourage the shot. Hand right there, have the speed, discourage the rim. So what D-Book does when they bring Steph up in this action is that he just drops back. And now by dropping back at that point in time, Steph is able to have room to get himself back to 7. And instead of playing dumb and just running to his body and thinking of where he is, he understands where he's going to go. So Steph ends up going down to the block, beating him there. And like I said before defensively with Steph, or with mismatches as a whole, right? It's not about getting a steal, getting a block. It's just about staying in front and showing your hands, right? That's the most you could do. Hold your ground, stay in front, show your hands. That's all you got to do. And then if you do that, if you stay that disciplined as a defender, you'll be blessed with some misses like this that are very much makeable, right? And so y'all got to understand, when it comes to these ISO plays, it's a battle going both ways. And so as a player yourself, don't just think about what you've seen just now as an offensive player with Carla Jones. Think about it also from a defensive side. Understanding that I could take these same concepts because there's going to be a point where I'm playing defense and they're attacking a certain player, and we got to make adjustments. So if you take the knowledge that you may have just picked up offensively, but even think about it defensively, being on that side of the ball, switching the matchups, knowing that I got to make sure help is loaded up, communicating off the ball, you'll become a better player. And you won't be just such a one-sided player, because all you do is sit here and study offense all day. If you just take what you study from offense as well and think about it as a defender, from when you see it as a defense, it'll allow you to be a step ahead of what the offense even does, and continuously allow you to do so. So make sure that as you learn offense, you think about it as well as a defender. And now that's how you're able to improve both sides of the ball as a basketball player. You think the game in offense, and you also think the game in defense as you learn one side. So you just got to make sure you constantly flip them. And now I got the last play right here. I just had to show this last play right here, LeBron. This is low-key a goofy play. This is a goofy play. So if any of y'all are ever going to be in transition, do not try to jump for a lob pass. Don't jump for a lob pass. That's a goofy thing to do, because y'all got to understand. If you jump for a lob pass, especially here, you already know where the ball is going. He sees something you do not. And now he turns around, looks for the ball. Brown cuts down the middle of the floor. That's a goofy play, right? That's a goofy play. Sometimes it's better off just staying down on the ground, not gambling for a pass like that. Don't go for that, right? Unless you see someone throw a straight line pass, you're on the wing, someone's on the block, post up, throwing it, low pass. Oh, let me get that. Just have active hands, and you'll be able to tell how high a pass is getting thrown just by how they release it. So do not try to go for those, though. That's goofy. They already know that ball is going to go high in the air. So that's the end of that breakdown. What should the player do when he new to a team? Learn the teammates that you play with first and foremost, and then 2, be yourself. Don't try to become a player that you are not. Find the ways to which you could use the game that you're best with and play with the players that you're playing with. So don't necessarily try to switch your whole game up. Stay consistent, stay solid. By the way, make sure all y'all like up, make sure all y'all sub, because we locked in when it coming down to these Team USA breakdowns and shit. Do you think part of why D-Book is beating out Tatum for minutes is the chemistry of KD, knowing how to play the second or third guy? That a little bit, but I'll also say this too. He's got him beat when it comes down to playing off the ball. Tatum is not as good as an off-ball player as D-Book is. Like when it comes to pin downs, catch and shooting, all that little stuff, like he doesn't fit in as well as Tatum does. So I think he's got that spot. And Tatum defensively, or D-Book versus Tatum defensively, Tatum may have the edge, but D-Book is better at guarding some of the players they're going to see, like the smaller guards. Like he has that speed as well. So yeah, I think it might be that. And we're probably going to be live again Monday. I think we're going to be live again on Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days. But make sure y'all subbed. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Make sure y'all join the school community. Both of those in the description. And make sure that y'all sacrifice y'all present self and invest into your future self. And do everything you need to do to get to where you're here to be. So discipline or regret. You choose.